Well, hey y'all, welcome back to Life with Nana. I'm Nana and I'm so glad you're here today. Today is a special day. Today I'm going to show you my mother, Great Nana. I'm going to show you her favorite recipes for the holidays. Now these are the ones that I remember her cooking every Thanksgiving, every Christmas. I'm feeling very nostalgic this Christmas. And my mom, she would always make a special dessert for each one of us kids when it was Thanksgiving and Christmas. So each child got their own special dessert. So my brother Wayne, he loved lemon pie, so that's what he got. My brother Gary, who was the next oldest, he loved anything chocolate. He was a lot like me. He and I were a lot alike. So he liked anything chocolate, so usually it was a chocolate cake. My brother Tony, my mother thought that his favorite was Cheerio cream cheese pie, and she made that for him every year, and he graciously ate it. But after she passed away and he came to visit, I made it for him, and he said, you know, I never really loved this pie. It was really funny, and it was very sweet of him to not say anything to my mom because she really thought she was doing something so special for him. Now, me, I just liked all of them, except the lemon. I wasn't too fond of that. I love sweets in general. And she also made a punch bowl cake, which I adored. So I guess that one was for me. And we're going to have a little bit of fun in the kitchen. Let me show you what we've got here. So this is the chocolate cake. And we have 2 cups of sugar. We have 1 3/4 cups of cake flour or all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder, 1½ teaspoons each of baking powder and baking soda, a teaspoon of salt, 2 large eggs, a cup of milk. We're going to do a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 2 tablespoons of vanilla, got that over here, and a cup of boiling water. And so my recipe says to preheat the oven to 350, which I've already done, and to grease my pan, which I've already done. So here's the flour. The cocoa. We have, what do we have here? Baking powder. We have baking soda. We have our salt. And we're also going to add our sugar. All right. So that looks pretty good. Now it says, get this back up. Now it says to add the eggs and the milk, the oil, and the boiling water. So let's get this in here. 2 eggs, cup of milk, do a 1/2 cup of oil. And if you don't want to use vegetable oil, you can use applesauce. And I've got my kettle going over here, so let me get the boiling water. Some years my mom would make the cakes with a box mix, and sometimes she would make them from scratch. It just depended on what was going on, you know. You know how it is, whatever's going on at the time. I think I read that wrong. I think that was a half a cup. And I'm going to put my vanilla in here. Alright. Let that go. Alright. We're going to let that go for a few minutes. And then we're going to pour it into this pan. Alright. This is a very thin batter. I haven't made this cake in a long time, so I'm hoping it turns out well. We'll see. Okay. We're going to pour this into our pan. Alright, so in the oven this goes. And we're going to set a timer for 30 minutes. So as I was reviewing some of the footage the other day, I realized Papa was helping me, and he said, something's beeping in the kitchen. So it was the microwave. I can't hear the microwave beeping, the stove beeping, the smoke alarm going off. I can't hear any of those frequencies. So sometimes in my videos, there may be some beeping in the background. And just know, I'm sorry that if that is a problem for you, but just know that I can't hear it. Okay, so the next recipe is the punch bowl cake recipe. And I want you guys to look at this pitiful little recipe. And I wouldn't take anything for this. This is handwritten. It has spots all over it. It's yellowed. It just makes me happy to look at it. So let me tell you what's in this. Now I'm going to be using, my mother would have used a punch bowl, a big punch bowl, because there was a lot of us. There were 4 kids, and we all had spouses and children. And so as the family grew, she made this huge punch bowl cake. But this is a little glass bucket that she got with some fruit in it. But I know that this is at least 50 years old, and so that's what I'm going to use. I cherish this. I only use this for this recipe, and I only make this, I don't make this recipe every single year, but when I'm feeling particularly nostalgic, I will pull this out and use this. So the recipe calls for a yellow cake mix, just a box cake mix, and you cook that. I've got that right here, already cooked up. It calls for, now I'm halving this recipe, okay, but I'm going to tell you what the recipe for the big punch bowl would be. 2 cans of cherry pie filling. I only have 1. 2 packages of instant pudding. I did do 2 because I think that makes it better. This is just regular instant pudding. 2 cans of crushed pineapple. Again, I only have 1. 1 container of non-dairy whipped topping, your choice. You can use whatever brand that you want. So this is such a simple recipe that it is so, it's a nice thing that you could put together fairly quickly to take to a party or a church function or anything like that. So, and it really makes a nice display too. All right, so let me pull this cake over here, and I'm just going to break this cake up, and we're just going to put it in the bottom. So we're just going to keep going. I'm going to do this about halfway, or a little less than halfway. Now it says to crumble the cake, the cooled cake, that's important that the cake be cool, and crumble it in the bottom layer of whatever it is you're using, the punch. And now we're going to start just layering. We're going to use some of the vanilla pudding. Put a layer of that. Try to use about half. That's what we want to do. Love the way that looks. It's going to be so pretty. And then we're going to put about half of this can of pineapple, and all that good juice will run down in and get into that cake. I'm gonna just stick my spoon down in there just a little bit. All right, now half of the cherry pie filling, and I'm going to try to go around the edges first so that it'll be really pretty. And we'll fill in as we can. Okay. And now we're going to put about half of this in there. This is very, very decadent. Very pretty though. Crumble this up. We'll have some cake left over, but that's all right. All right. I may have filled it up too much. I think it's going to be just fine. Actually, this was my mom's absolute favorite. And so we're going to do the rest of this pineapple. Stir that around a little bit. We're going to do the rest of this cherry pie filling. I don't have a lot. I went overboard, as Nana tends to do. But that'll be pretty. That looks good. Now I'm not going to put the rest of the Cool Whip on top, I don't think, and because my container is full, and when we serve this, I'll put it on there then. But for now, we're going to just let it go like this. And that's the punch bowl cake. That's my mom's favorite thing for the holidays. Now we're going to do the lemon pie. Now this recipe is an old recipe. Look at this. I typed this up when I was taking typing. As you can see, I wasn't very good at typing. But anyway, I typed it up, but I do love how the paper's yellowed, and I remember my mom being tickled that I had typed it up for her. So we're going to use a graham cracker crust. Now you certainly can make your own if you want to. I'm just not going to today. I'm just going to do it the way that she did it, and this is how she did it, and so that's what we're going to do. And this is such a simple lemon pie. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pour in 14-ounce can of Eagle brand milk. Sweetened, condensed Eagle brand milk. You want the sweetened condensed. Make sure that it's that. Okay. And then I'm going to put in some lemon zest. This is probably a couple of tablespoons. I'll stir that up a little bit. Now, this is, I would say, a little controversial because it calls for egg yolks. It calls for 2 egg yolks. We're going to put those in there. I've got my whites because I'm going to use those to make them around. Mix that together. I can't hear. And then I'm going to pour in a 1/2 cup of lemon juice. Now, my mother made this pie as many years as I can remember. No one ever got sick. No one ever complained about it or anything like that. But you have to do what's right for you and your family. And if you don't feel comfortable using those eggs like that, then you'll have to just figure out a different recipe. Now, it'll get thick when you put it in the refrigerator. It'll thicken on up. And so that's it. That's all we're going to do. And we're going to pour this into this pie shell. And we will make some meringue out of those egg whites. So let's set this aside. Now, you can serve this with the old-fashioned meringue, like I'm going to do, or you can serve this, either one, a whipped topping of some sort. I have my egg whites. And I'm going to add, let me see what this is. I'm going to add about 1/8 of a cup of sugar. I'm going to grab my vanilla again. And I'm going to put about, just a little bit of this in here. And we're going to whip this up. All right, here we go. We want to whip this until it forms nice stiff peaks. So it takes a few minutes. You'll start seeing forming peaks and they'll turn glossy and you know you're there. Now I'm going to turn my oven on broil and we're going to put this on top of the pie shell, on top of the lemon pie, and then we're going to put it in the oven and let it just brown slightly so that it gives it a nice little color. Some people love this and some people hate this. If you're one of the ones that you don't care for it, then you can use a whipped topping and it'll be just as good. It doesn't have to cover all the filling. The more little peaks you have, the prettier outcome you have. All right, so that's what it looks like, and I'm gonna put it in the oven, and we're gonna let it brown. Now I'm gonna have to watch that because it really will brown very quickly. So how you guys been doing? It's been a long day today, but it's been a fun day. Today we went and finished decorating the church fellowship hall for our family dinner, and then I went and seen my best friend, Miss Joyce, who I've known for 30 years, and today's her birthday. And so she is such a sweetheart, and I love her so much. And what else have we done today? Oh, we went and bought groceries, and then we're coming back here and we're doing this. So a fulfilling day. It's just a fulfilling day, and I love it. I love it. Let me check this. All right. Look how pretty that looks. See how pretty? It's got those little brown peaks. I'm going to set it right here and just let it kind of cool on its own for a little bit. And that is the lemon pie that my brother Wayne loves so much. All right, the next recipe is the Cheerio cream cheese pie. And this one was another one that my mother loved. All right, so this particular one, now sometimes she would use a graham cracker crust, and sometimes she would use vanilla wafer crust. So I'm going to do the vanilla wafer one today because I think it's better. And all you do is you put part of a box of that in there in your Ziploc bag, and you're going to crush these up. And I don't like them completely crushed. I like to have some cookie bits in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix this with a stick of butter. And we're going to press it into our pan, and we're going to put it in the oven and let it cook for just a few minutes, just maybe 5 minutes. Yeah, it doesn't take long. And I have my Pyrex pie pan here. So I'm going to pour these in here. And there are some that are not broken up really well, so I'm going to break those up into smaller pieces. Now I'm going to get my butter. So I have a stick of butter here. And I'm going to pour this in. And we're going to stir this around until this is mixed together and it feels kind of damp. There's no need to really spray the pan because you do have all this butter in here. And so what I'm going to do is just pour this over into my pan. Okay, and then I'm just going to pat this down, and we're just making a nice crust on the bottom of this. And then we're going to line the sides of it with whole vanilla wafers. And I tried to make sure that I had enough to go all the way around my pan, or my pie plate here. And this makes a really pretty presentation also. Really nice. Very simple, but a very nice something to take somewhere, or just for a young cook who's just starting out and to make something. I used to make things like this all the time when I was a young girl. And my mom was so good about just letting me in the kitchen. And as long as I cleaned up, then she didn't mind if I got in there and I, you know. I used to make chess pies and fudge and all kinds of stuff like that. And so she was really good about that. So she would be happy with this. Can you see how pretty that looks? All right, we're going to put this in a 350-degree oven. Just for a few, probably as long as it takes me to whip up the rest of this pie. All right, so I have an 8-ounce block of softened cream cheese. I have a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. I have 1/3 cup of lemon juice. I have my vanilla. I have a can of cherry pie filling over here that we'll put on the top once it sets. And we have our pie crust in the oven. Okay, so let's get this mixed together. So we're going to beat the cream cheese until light and fluffy. So we're going to put the cream cheese in there. We're going to take our mixer, turn it up on high, and we're going to beat this until it's fluffy. All right, we're going to go ahead and add our sweetened condensed milk. Now we're going to beat this until it's light and fluffy. All right, that's looking good. So we're going to add our 1/3 cup of lemon juice and a teaspoon of vanilla. Maybe more. I love this Watkins brand pure vanilla bean paste. I love it. It's got the vanilla beans in it. It is more expensive than buying imitation vanilla, but I think this makes a big difference in your baking. All right. I'm going to stir this around and make sure that it's all mixed in there really well. And that looks really good, looks wonderful. This makes me think of my mom. I really miss her, you know. It's amazing how during these times of these holiday seasons, we miss the ones who have gone on before us. And making that lemon pie and making the chocolate cake and then making this makes me think of all of the ones who've already gone ahead of me too. So I really do miss my brothers, the ones that are gone. So it's just me and Tony now, and he lives in a different state, but we stay in touch and it's fun, and you know we have a good relationship, and I'm so proud of that. So let's check on this pie crust. So we're going to have to let this chill before we can put the cherries on top. And the chocolate cake is still hot, so I'm going to wait about making the frosting for that. But I will show you how to do that in a minute. Okay, I think our cake has cooled enough. And all right, so this frosting recipe calls for 1 cup of softened butter. So I have 2 sticks of butter here. 3 cups of powdered sugar. That's what's in this container. 2/3 cup of cocoa. 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And 1/4 cup of heavy cream. It seems a little weird to put the salt in there, but it always helps the balance of something like this that's so sweet to have that salt. So it says to place the softened butter, and a cup of powdered sugar. I'm just going to pour some in here. I'm not going to measure it. This is 3 cups though. Oh, turn this on slow. If not, we'd have a cloud of powdered sugar. Okay, what did I do? I was looking for this. I'm going to use this so we don't have a powdered sugar cloud in the kitchen to clean up. So, it says to just keep putting the sugar in there. And put the guard on. Raise this back up. Turn on the mixer. Okay. Move this for a minute. I'm going to add my cocoa. I'm going to add my salt. And I'm going to add some vanilla. I'm going to let that mix for just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to add my 1/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. And I may need more than that. We're going to see how this does. Okay, I wound up adding about another 1/2 cup of cream to this frosting to get it where I wanted it. And this is going to be really nice, I think. Okay. It's kind of be easy. Sometimes it wants to pick the cake up. We just want to get it frosted really nice. Most of the time my mother would use a boxed cake mix, especially when we were older. And that made things a lot easier. When you can use convenience, go ahead and do that. But it's really nice to have things in your kitchen that you can make, you know, that you've got some flour and some cocoa and whatever else you need, and you can whip up a beautiful chocolate cake. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? All right. While we're doing, that's nice and cooled off. I put it on the back porch, and I'm going to put my filling in here. And get every bit of this in here. Now this is going to have to go into the refrigerator for 2 to 4 hours. To set up, and then we'll put the cherries on it, and we will have everything done. Well, we finished Mom's favorite Thanksgiving and Christmas recipes, and I'm so happy to have brought them to you. So we have the lemon pie. That was my brother Wayne's favorite. We have the chocolate cake, which was my brother Gary's favorite. And my mom thought this was Tony's favorite, but he actually liked the other stuff a little bit better. But he was very sweet and never said anything to her. And but she made these for us every year. I like all these recipes. I hope you do too. I appreciate you coming along with me. Always be kind. Nana loves you. Nana's proud of you. You always have a friend here. God bless.